Welcome to our U.S. briefing show. Today, we've got some exciting headlines to share. First up, President Trump is considering attending peace talks between Russia and Ukraine in Turkey, signaling a possible step toward ending the conflict. While he's currently in the Gulf, he hinted he might head to Turkey if it helps facilitate peace, with Ukraine's Zelensky supporting his involvement. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing, but nothing's set in stone yet. Next, we're looking at a shift in Trump's support base. His once strong confidence in his economic management is slipping, especially among independents, as inflation worries grow. Polls show his approval for handling the economy falling below his overall approval ratings. This could be a warning sign for his campaign, as voters remain deeply concerned about their financial future and living costs. Finally, a controversial figure, Ed Martin, Trump's nominee for D.C.'s top prosecutor, has come under fire for failing to disclose hundreds of media appearances, many on far-right and Russian outlets. His outspoken rhetoric and undisclosed activities have Democrats and Republicans questioning his transparency and suitability for the role. The confirmation process is already delayed, and this new controversy isn't making things easier. Please continue to watch for more details. CNN reports that President Donald Trump has expressed openness to attending peace talks between Russia and Ukraine scheduled in Turkey, amid ongoing international efforts to resolve the conflict. Zelensky has welcomed Trump's involvement, emphasizing the importance of his support for direct negotiations, especially after Putin's proposal for talks. Despite the Ukrainian president's willingness, Russia has yet to confirm Putin's participation, and the Kremlin maintains that Putin is serious about seeking peace. Erdogan has offered Istanbul as a venue, and while the U.S. administration grows frustrated over the stalled peace process, Trump's potential attendance could significantly influence the negotiations, which are at a delicate crossroads with Ukraine's European allies demanding a ceasefire before further talks. CNN also highlights the shifting political landscape as Trump's second term begins. Once buoyed by strong economic approval ratings during his first term, Trump now faces a notable decline in public confidence regarding his handling of the economy. Polls indicate that his approval on economic issues has dipped below his overall approval ratings, signaling a potential vulnerability. Voters remain concerned about inflation and rising prices, issues that heavily influenced their support for Trump in the past. Experts warn that if economic conditions do not improve, especially inflation, Trump's support among independents and swing voters could weaken, posing risks for upcoming elections. While Trump's approval remains resilient among his core supporters, the early economic downturn presents a significant challenge to his broader electoral prospects and the Republican Party's chances in future races. CNN reports that Ed Martin, Trump's nominee for U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., has failed to disclose nearly 200 media appearances, including numerous on far-right and Russian state outlets. Despite updating his disclosures, Martin's omissions raise concerns about transparency and vetting, especially given his controversial rhetoric and social conservative positions. His past comments include advocating for a national abortion ban with criminal penalties and publicly criticizing political opponents, raising questions about his impartiality. Additionally, Martin's extensive media activity, much of which remains undisclosed, coupled with his history of provocative statements, has sparked scrutiny amid the tight timeline for his confirmation. Democratic senators have expressed reservations, and some Republicans are calling for hearings, but the Senate Judiciary Committee appears hesitant to deviate from long-standing precedent, complicating Martin's confirmation process. CNN reports that in what seems like an ordinary day in Trump's turbulent second term, a series of dramatic events unfolded, exemplifying the unpredictable nature of his presidency. Trump managed to orchestrate a surprising deal with Hamas, bypassing Israel to secure the release of the last American hostage, Eden Alexander, amidst ongoing violence and humanitarian crises in Gaza. This daring diplomatic move not only highlighted Trump's penchant for transactional diplomacy but also put pressure on Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, who had prioritized military victory over negotiations. Meanwhile, Trump's international trip to Gulf Arab states underscored his focus on global power shifts and economic deals, including a controversial trade agreement with China that appeared more like a retreat than a victory. Domestically, Trump faced an ethics scandal over his proposal to acquire a luxury $400 million Qatar gift for a new Air Force One, risking constitutional violations and potential conflicts of interest, all while he publicly dismissed concerns and invoked golfing metaphors to justify his actions. His administration's efforts to negotiate trade and drug price reforms, combined with his erratic style and focus on photo ops, painted a picture of a presidency driven by spectacle and deal-making, often at the expense of traditional norms and stability. The Associated Press details a contentious legal battle over the U.S. government's recent military zone along New Mexico's border, where the Department of Justice, led by U.S. Attorney Ryan Ellison, challenged a federal judge's inquiry into the prosecution of trespassing violations. The government criticized the judge's attempt to seek legal opinions on abstract questions about the elements of crimes related to unauthorized crossings into the military zone, deeming it an improper exercise of judicial authority. This unusual dispute underscores the broader effort by the Trump administration to leverage military designation to enforce border security, raising concerns about constitutional overreach and the potential for judicial activism. The case highlights the tension between executive actions aimed at strengthening border sovereignty and the judiciary's role in maintaining legal boundaries, with the government stressing the importance of the zone for national security and the judge's request viewed as an unwarranted interference in ongoing prosecutions. Meanwhile, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation provides a sobering update on the ongoing hostage crisis in Gaza, where over 580 days have passed since Hamas captured 251 people during its October 2023 attack. The recent release of Eden Alexander, the last known American hostage, offers a glimmer of hope amidst a brutal conflict that has resulted in over 52,800 Palestinian casualties and a dire humanitarian crisis. The exchange, facilitated by negotiations involving Hamas, the US, Egypt, and Qatar, may pave the way for the release of the remaining 58 hostages, though the situation remains volatile. Israel continues its military campaign, with some hostages believed to be dead and others still unaccounted for, amid ongoing Israeli strikes and a worsening blockade that threatens to induce famine in Gaza. The complex negotiations and the uncertain fate of the hostages reflect the brutal reality of this prolonged war, with families demanding urgent action and political leaders grappling with the delicate balance between military objectives and humanitarian concerns. According to Nikkei Asia, Japanese stocks surged by 2% as investors responded positively to the US-China trade truce, which temporarily reduced tariffs on each other's exports for at least 90 days. The Nikkei experienced a significant rally, rising over 800 points and reaching its highest intraday level in over a month, driven by banks, marine shipping, and exporters like automakers. The broader Tokyo Stock Price Index also climbed nearly 2%, mirroring gains on Wall Street where the Dow Jones soared nearly 3% and the Nasdaq jumped over 4%. Nomura Securities highlighted that the trade war détente was a positive surprise, likely to boost Japanese share prices in the short term. The agreement, announced by President Trump, signaled a total reset with China, with Trump suggesting tariffs might not return to previous high levels after the pause, hinting at a possible future deal. The market's safe haven flows eased, causing the yen to weaken against the dollar and bond yields to rise, reflecting reduced demand for safe assets. Meanwhile, regional markets showed more modest gains, with South Korea's Kospi remaining flat and Australia's ASX 200 up by around 0.8%. The US continues to negotiate trade agreements with other nations like Japan, South Korea, and India, though uncertainties remain as some negotiations may stall, with reciprocal tariffs set to reapply after July 9 if no agreements are reached. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.